meetings that members of parliament enjoy under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia. This is extended to you to the extent that whatever you say before this committee cannot be used against you in the courts of law or outside this meeting, as long as you share factual information. However, the same Cap 12 can be used against you if you willfully mislead or give false information to this committee. It is my belief, Town Clerk, on behalf of the members, that you will not go the latter way, but will share the correct information. With that said, I would like to welcome you once again, and that feel at ease, be calm. We want to see how Luanshya Municipal Council is utilizing or using the enhanced constituency development fund for both Ron and Luanshya constituency. With that said, I would ask you to introduce yourselves by giving us your title and your name individually, starting.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you. Good morning to the honorable members of the committee. Good morning to the permanent witnesses. My name is Sombo Kawilila. I'm the town clerk for Luanshya. With your indulgence, I can ask my colleagues to introduce themselves.
Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. Good morning, honorable members. My name is David Swamba, Director Finance.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members and all the witnesses present. My name is Naomi Simwanza, and I'm the Director of Development Planning. Thank you.
The middle button.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of the committee and the permanent witness. My name is Ndudi Rutherford Kaunda, Director Engineering for Luanshya Municipal Council.
Chair, good morning, honorable members. My name is Munkondia Salifia. I'm the Chief Architect, Luanshya Municipal Council.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. I'm Sylvester Goma, Chief Internal Auditor.
Again, we couldn't get you, sir.
Chief Internal Auditor.
You put the mic closer to you. The TV and radio would like to pick your voices.
I hope that is clear now.
Yes.
Morning, Chair. Morning, honorable members. I'm Goma Sylvester, Chief Internal Auditor.
Okay. So you are further advised to pull your chair closer. That is better. Our dear ladies there, you can go to the mic there where our... Yes, you can introduce yourselves as well.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Sylvia Kasoma, Assistant Internal Auditor.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Constance Cholo Shamyumba. I am the Council Advocate for Luanshya Municipal Council. Thank you.
Wonderful. Permanent witnesses, starting with the AG's office.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, fellow permanent witnesses, Luanshya Council. Good morning. My name is Amwemba Traxons Hamianda, Director for Robert Province. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair.
Morning.
Good morning, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, Luanshya Council. And good morning, everyone. My name is Darius Chimezalirami, Assistant Director from Office of the Auditor General, Copperbelt Province. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Simon Munyama. I'm the Parliamentary Liaison Officer, Office of the Auditor General.
Good morning. I'm Lovinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Department in the Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Finance.
Yes, good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Morning, TC and the team. My name is Mulenga Chama, coming from the Office of Accountant General. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, members of the committee. Good morning, Assistant Director, Local Authorities Department, Minister of Finance Audit Department.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to you and the honorable members of the Parliament. First and foremost, we tender our condolences through you, Chair, to National Assembly on the passing away of the clerk of the National Assembly. Welcome Luanshya Municipal Council and fellow permanent witnesses. Kazinga Kennedy, permanent witness from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable committee members. Good morning, everyone. My name is Cecilia Lupenga Malunga, Chief Human Resource Officer from Local Government Service Commission.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We can have the clerk's office.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning. My name is Mark Socheka from the Office of the Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tokozile Chaponda from the Office of the Clerk.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members of the committee. Luanshya, you are welcome. My name is Emmanuel Walia from the Office of the Clerk.
Thank you. We can have honorable members. Honorable Member for Busakiri.
Before I introduce myself, allow me also to tender a message of condolences from the good people of Sakire and indeed my National Assembly of the Ngurube family on the passing on of Mr. Roy Ngurube, Clerk of National Assembly. Morning to you, Chair. Morning, honorable members. Good morning, Secretariat, or permanent witnesses, Luanshya Municipal Council and your team. Good morning and welcome to this committee. Thank you.
The honorable member for Dundumwezi.
Thank you very much, Chair. Indeed, the people of Dundumwezi join this institution in mourning our dear clerk who just passed on yesterday. It's quite a very difficult day today, Chairman. Good morning, colleagues, members of Parliament. Good morning, our permanent witnesses. Good morning, Luanshya Council. My name is Dundumwezi. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Siavonga.
Chairperson, I thank you. Allow me, Chairperson, to join my colleagues in rendering my sincere, heartfelt condolences on the demise of our clerk, to the members of staff from the clerk's office, to you, Chairperson, and the National Assembly as a whole, that we have lost a gallant son of this institution. Good morning, permanent witnesses. Morning, Luanshya Municipal Council. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Mulunda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency, and the member of this committee. Chairperson, I thank you.
Thank you. Before I do so, I would like to ask our lady who has just joined us also to come to go there to introduce herself.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Martha Nyere, Procurement Municipal Council.
Thank you. Town Clerk, as you may be aware, today is a very our National Assembly. We have lost our beloved clerk of the National Assembly, Mr. Roy Ngurube, who died on course of duty in Uzbekistan. It's a sad moment. As you have heard, everyone is downtrodden in grief morning our dear clerk. For me, I was with him in Seychelles last week. We just came back on Monday. He was just in good health. We had good time in course of duty, of course. So he said it's not easy, and for everyone at Parliament here, and for Zambia, he was a gallant man. So this is the situation. My name is Mishek Mutetwa Nyambose, representing the wonderful people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province of Zambia, and I'm privileged to chair this committee. The other Mishek is in. I will allow him to introduce himself. Honorable Mishek, you are welcome. Condolences.
Chair, my sincere condolences for the dark cloud that we have. The other Mishek, Mutelo, Mited.
Town Clerk, with that said, we go into our business. We would like to ask you to take us through your memorandum, and if you have any additional information such as the addendum that you brought, we humbly accept. If not, we proceed by you taking us through your report.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to preface my submission this morning to add on to the condolences on behalf of the management and staff of Luanshya Municipal Council to indeed your committee as well as the entire House, particularly the Office of the Clerk. We commiserate with you, Chair. Secondly, Chair, I wish to thank you for your acceptance of our additional information. I wish to submit before your committee this morning additional exhibits under Appendix PQ as well as Appendix F. If I may be allowed, Chair, to pass on through.
You can circulate them through our Secretariat.
Lastly, Chair, I wish to draw the committee's attention to page 14 of our report. I wish to make a correction.
Yes, page 14.
Yes, Chair. Under Ron constituency community projects for 2022, it should read 1 community project.
Not 4?
Not 4, Chair. And for 2023, it should read 14 community projects. On page 14, under Ron constituency cause of query for community projects, 2022, it should read 1 community project was not completed. And for 2023, it should read 14 and not 8.
Are we there? Okay. That's all?
Yes, Chair.
Good. You can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I'm privileged to present the memorandum of the Controlling Officer on paragraph 17 in the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. Chair, this is falling under paragraph 17 and appendices 1, 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, and lastly 13.
Thank you. So as a matter of guidance, when you come to page 2, the way we proceed, since we are dealing with Luanshya constituency, you just read the title, Delayed Completion of Projects, 2022 Projects. Then you go to the management response. You read, then action taken, then the remedial measures.
Thank you, Chair. I'm well guided. We are on page 2. This is Luanshya constituency 17.1A, Delayed Completion of Projects, 2022 Projects. The first project is electrification of a 1x3 classroom block at Elohim Primary School. The cause of the query, Chair, we wish to acknowledge the auditor's observation regarding delayed completion of the electrification of a 1x3 classroom block at Elohim Primary School. We would like to state that the cause of query was the delay by ZESCO Limited in connecting Elohim Primary School to the national grid at the time of the audit. Action taken on the matter, management wishes to report that ZESCO Limited has since connected the facility with power, and we wish to refer the committee to Appendix A. As a remedial measure, our management will ensure that power connections for community projects are facilitated in a timely manner to avoid delays and ensure seamless project implementation. The second project, Chair, is on the rehabilitation and completion of Walale Market Shelter. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and wishes to state that the cause of query was due to the delay in completing outstanding works, which included electrical installations and connection to the national grid by ZESCO Limited. Action taken on the matter, we wish to inform the committee chair that the contractor has now completed the electrical installations and ZESCO Limited has successfully connected the facility to power, thereby completing the outstanding works. We wish to refer the committee to Appendix B, and as a measure, management will ensure that power connections for the community projects are in a time. The third project is the rehabilitation and completion of Chitwi Market Shelter. The cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and wishes to state that the cause of query was due to the delay in completing outstanding works, which included electrical installations and connection to the national grid by ZESCO Limited. Action taken on the matter, management is pleased to state that the contractor has since completed the electrical installations and ZESCO Limited has successfully connected power to the facility, thereby completing the outstanding works. Appendix C refers, and as a remedial measure, Chair, we will ensure that power connections for community projects are facilitated in a timely manner to avoid delays and also ensure seamless project implementation. Project number 4 is electrification of Kasongo Primary School. The cause of the query, we wish to acknowledge the auditor's observation and wish to state that the cause of query is due to the delay in completing outstanding works, specifically security lights installations and ZESCO Limited power connection. Management has taken action on the matter and is pleased to state that the contractor has since installed the security lights and ZESCO Limited has successfully connected power to the facility, thereby completing outstanding works. Appendix measure, management will ensure that power connections for community projects are facilitated in a timely manner to avoid delays and ensure seamless project implementation. 2, under Ron constituency, completion, and this is Project A, rehabilitation of classroom blocks and ablution blocks at Kansumbi Primary School, a 2022 project. The cause of the query, Chair, is on page 7, and we wish to acknowledge the auditor's observations and report that the cause of query is attributed to the underperformance by the contractor, which failed to complete the project in a satisfactory and timely manner. Action taken on the matter, we wish to report that the Luanshya Municipal Council Procurement Committee, at its sitting held on 29th July 2024, resolved to terminate the contract with EPSA Investments Limited for the rehabilitation of classroom blocks and ablution blocks at Kansumbi Primary School due to underperformance. Consequently, Chair, I'm pleased to report that liquidated damages amounting to 95,680 kwacha 88 ingwe were recovered as a result. Further, at a subsequent meeting of the Procurement Committee held on 29th August, at a contract and 95 kwacha 75 ingwe, and I'm pleased to inform this committee this morning that the outstanding works have been completed and the project commissioned and is currently in use. Appendix E refers, as a remedial measure, Chair, as a management, we have undertaken the enhancement of project monitoring and oversight to ensure that all projects are within the stipulated timelines, thereby mitigating promoting efficient project implementation. Query B, failure to commission the rehabilitation of Roan Police Post. A cause of query, we wish to acknowledge the auditor's observations and wish to state that at the time of the audit, indeed, the police post had not yet been commissioned and formally handed over to the Zambia Police Service. As an action taken on the matter, we will state on 29th Zambia Police, the committee formally commission to the respective beneficiaries within the stipulated project timelines, thereby preventing delays and ensuring implementation. Chair, I now proceed to page 10. Findings. Appendix 1 on budget funding and expenditure. The cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observations. However, wish to indicate that according to the 2023, as of 31st December 2023, the actual expenditures for Luanshya Central and Ron constituency stood at 10,994,802 kwacha and 11,980,000 respectively. So that was in the table that the ministry responsible for local government and rural development did issue a circular dated 3rd January 2024 in which all local authorities were informed that 115,000 will obtain procurement of vehicles. We wish to refer yes. And further, as an action taken, we wish to place it on record that management is pleased to inform your committee chair that the vehicles have since been delivered and pictures depicted in immediate that funds are fully utilized within the respective financial year. Funds. On the cause of query, we wish to indicate that we acknowledge the auditor's observations. However, we wish to provide clarification in that according to our 2023 audited financial statements as of 31st December 2023, expenditures for Luanshya Central and Ron constituencies were 24,700 and 25,600 kwacha respectively. Chair, this is in line with the 2023 audited taken care to show name in the table provided on page 11. I wish to proceed to providing the cause of query per component. For Luanshya Central, for 2022, the cause of query arose as a result of 4 community projects which were not completed as at 31st December 2023. For 2023 community projects, 8 close of December 2023. Loans, the cause of query, Chair, is that the unspent funds as at 31st December 2023 out of loan repayments made in the financial year. For grants, our comment there, Chair, is that the query is that the funds were 31st December 2023. Under the 2023 calendar year, Central Administration spent funds as a result of ongoing CDF programs. Action taken. Chair, that management has since spent 20 million wish to were availed and on 20th November 2024, and Chair, this matter has been recommended for closure. We wish to refer the committee to Appendix G. On community projects, The clarification there is that we have since spent 12,166,326 kwacha, leaving a balance of 2,653,970. The balance constitutes projects, and we wish to refer the on empowerment loans and loan recoveries. Our comment that loan recoveries to the fund empowerment loans component, and these were dispersed in the year 2024, and we wish to refer the committee to Appendix JK. On grants, we wish to report that 120,637 kwacha in terms of grants were dispersed in the year 2024, and Appendix L refers. For bursaries, we wish to indicate that management has since spent 1,179 kwacha 179,912, I beg your pardon, Chair, towards returning students from the academic year 2023. We wish to refer the committee to Appendix M. For the administrative component, we are reporting that management has since spent 356,655 towards monitoring of community projects and other administrative components. Appendix N refers. For interest accrued, we have since deposited 401,210 kwacha, which was accrued in the Luanshya Central CDF account, into Control 99 account, and the balance of 40,948 has been retained in the Luanshya Central Revolving Fund account. Appendix O refers. Chair, I now move to Ron constituency. The breakdown by components, the cause of query for community projects. In 2022, the cause of query was that one community project was not completed as at the close of December 2023. In 2024, 14 projects were not completed, Chair. For empowerment loans, the unspent funds stood at unspent funds as observed at the close of 31st December 2023 as a result of the loan recoveries made in the financial year 2023. Bursaries, the funds were not spent because some students did not report for the academic year, and with administration component, unspent funds as the result of ongoing CDF programs. Action taken on the matter under Ron constituency, we wish to report that we have since spent amounts totaling 23,278,096 kwacha, leaving a balance of 1,670,325 kwacha as at 31st March 2025. The balance constitutes amounts for retentions for completed projects and funds recovered from CDF empowerment loans. We have taken care, Chair, to provide a breakdown in the table, and we wish to provide further comments on some of the figures. On the balance brought forward, we wish to report that ledgers were availed and verified by the Office of the Auditor General on 20th November 2024, and the matter has been recommended for closure, and we wish to refer to Appendix G. For community projects, we have since spent 14,326,455 kwacha, leaving a balance of 1,261,033 kwacha. Chair, we are reporting that the balance constitutes amounts for retention for completed community projects, and we refer your committee to Appendix HI. On empowerment loans / loan recoveries were 2024 CDF empowerment loans that were dispersed in the year 2024. Appendix JK refers. For bursaries, Chair, I wish to report that management has since spent 706,074 kwacha towards returning students from the academic year 2023. Appendix M refers. On the administration component, management has since spent 107,597 kwacha towards monitoring of community projects and other administrative expenses. Appendix. On interest accrued, management has since deposited the sum of 445,274, which was accrued in the Luanshya Central CDF account, into the Control 99 account, and the balance of 45,055 kwacha has since been retained in the Luanshya Central CDF Revolving Fund account. Reference is made to Appendix O. As a remedial measure, Management is committed to ensuring that CDF funds are fully utilized within the respective financial year by undertaking the implementation of the different components of the fund in a timely manner. 2.1, unspent funds, community projects. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and wishes to state that the cause of query is attributed to delay in implementing the 2023 community projects, which resulted in the underutilization of funds and thus the subsequent query. Action taken on the matter. Management has since spent 26,917,530 kwacha, representing 89%, towards the 2023 community projects, leaving a balance of 3,490,253 kwacha 50 ngwe. Chair, the balance is committed to uncompleted projects and retentions. Appendix HI refers. We wish to show on page 17 a table of the breakdown of that cause of query, or action taken, Chair, rather, sorry. Remedial measure taken. Management is committed to ensuring that all CDF fund programs are planned, implemented, completed in the respective, thereby promoting timely and effective utilization of allocated funds. Appendix 2.2, unspent funds empowerment grants. Cause of the query. We acknowledge the Auditor General's observations and wish to state that 120,638 kwacha was not dispersed to CDF grant beneficiaries as at 31st December 2024. Chair, we have since dispersed the 120,638 kwacha to grant beneficiaries. We wish to refer to Appendix L. As a remedial measure, management is committed to ensuring that all CDF empowerment grants are processed, approved, and disbursed to beneficiaries within the respective financial year. Appendix 2.3, unspent funds empowerment grants. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations and wishes to state that the 120,638 was not disbursed to CDF grant beneficiaries as at 31st December 2024. Chair, we have since dispersed those amounts to 4 grant beneficiaries, and we wish to refer to Appendix L. And as a remedial measure, we are committed to ensuring that all CDF empowerment grants are processed, approved, disbursed to beneficiaries within the respective financial year. Appendix 2.4, secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Cause of query. We acknowledge the Auditor General's observations and wish to state that the unutilized amount of 1,886,006 kwacha in 2023 was due to the non-reporting of some students to school for the 2023 academic year, thereby rendering the allocation. Action taken on the matter. We wish to state that the matter was reported to the CDF committee, which recommended that the amount be used to support returning students from 2023 and into the 2024. Appendix M, share of 1,006 kwacha as depicted on the table below by way of a breakdown. As a remedial measure, we are committed to and disbursed to beneficiaries within the respective financial year, thereby supporting the education of pursuits. Appendix 2.5, and spent funds administrative component. The auditor of 31st December 2023, we had several uncompleted projects. Here we have since utilized the funds that were observed as unspent, and we wish to refer the committee to Appendix N. Projects are within the financial year. Cause of query. management acknowledges the Auditor General's observations and wishes to state that the query arose primarily due to unforeseen delays in completing procurement processes, implementation of actual projects. As an action taken on the matter, management wishes to report that the projects were completed and verified by the Office of the Auditor General on 20th November 2024, and the matter has since been recommended for closure. As a remedial measure, management has taken corrective measures to streamline procurement procedures and expedite project implementation to prevent similar delays in the future. Appendix 4, 2023 Community Projects, Cause of Query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observations and wish to state that the query arose primarily due to unforeseen delays in completing procurement processes, which subsequently impacted the timely implementation of actual projects. Action taken. Chair, I'm pleased to inform the committee that all 22 projects have since been completed and Appendix PQ refers. As a remedial measure, we have taken corrective measures to streamline procurement procedures and expedite project implementation processes to prevent similar delays in the future. Appendix 5 on the analysis of performance, that is the youth, women, and community grants. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation. However, management wishes to state that the actual performance of the youth, women, and community grants as at 31st December is as shown in the table on page 22, Chair, right at the top. And we wish to provide a comment to say, due to the overwhelming response from applicants, management was unable to provide funding to all the eligible applicants, despite their meeting the necessary criteria. Chair, the grants were allocated as per the budgetary provision of the component for the year 2023 and also in line with the CDF guidelines. Action taken on the matter. Management wishes to state that all unsuccessful applicants were informed in accordance with the CDF guidelines and they were encouraged to participate in future adverts for the same fund. Appendix R refers, and Chair, we have also continued conducting sensitization programs through public gatherings, radio programs, in order to enhance positive participation. As a remedial measure, management is committed to ensuring the timely disbursement of the youth, women, and community empowerment grants within the allocated time frame and budgetary provisions, thereby supporting the socio-economic development and empowerment of Luanshya citizens. Appendix 8 is on the performance analysis of soft loans. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observations and wishes to provide information regarding the discrepancies identified. Chair, we wish to clarify that the overpayment of 81,029 kwacha on the Luanshya Central CDF account was attributed to the arrangement fees charged by our banker, NatSave Bank, to the Luanshya Central revolving account, rather than from the beneficiaries in line with the guidelines outlined in Circular Number MF/OAG/101/23/4, issued by the Secretary to the Treasury. Chair, the said circular provided guidance on handling arrangement fees and interest on the Constituency Development Fund empowerment loans. Regarding the underpayment of 23,251 on the loan revolving account, management wishes to state that this was due to the failure by a loan applicant, namely Imeni Women Club, to submit a loan agreement form. And sadly, Chair, this group later declined the offer to take up the loan. As an action taken, wish to provide that under Luanshya Central, the arrangement fees were recovered through loan recoveries made during the financial year. And for loan, the 23,521 was added to the 20 loans, which were dispersed in March 2024. We wish to refer the committee to Appendix JK. And as a remedial measure, we are committed to ensuring that the CDF empowerment loans are dispersed in a timely and efficient manner, thereby supporting the socio-economic development and empowerment of beneficiaries. Appendix 9, failure to recover loans. Cause of query, we wish to acknowledge the auditor's observations and wish to attribute the failure to recover soft loans to the failure by loan empowerment beneficiaries to repay their loans in a timely manner. Action taken on the matter. Chair, we wish to report that we have since recovered 1,042,627 kwacha for own constituency and 900 constituency as at 28 February 2025. Chair, we have also taken proactive steps to address loan defaults and enhance recovery efforts, including the issuing of demand letters to loan defaulters, emphasizing the importance of timely settlements. We have further also engaged with our banker to discuss strategies for improving loan recovery rates and strengthening partnerships. Chair, we have also implemented quarterly monitoring and review of the loan repayment progress, and this is enabling us to track performance and identify areas of improvement and make informed decisions to optimize recovery outcomes. We wish to refer the committee to Appendix T. And as a remedial measure, we are committed to ensuring the timely recovery of outstanding loans, and we implement robust measures to enhance loan repayment monitoring, follow-up, and enforcement, thereby minimizing defaults and ensuring the sustainability of the loan empowerment program. Appendix 10, second and skills development barrier query. We acknowledge the auditor's observation and wish to state that at the time of the audit, only 535 students had graduated from skills development courses and 3 pupils completed their secondary school in accordance with the period of their study. As an action taken, management is pleased to report that an additional 657 beneficiaries have completed their studies. Appendix UV refers. As a remedial measure, we are committed to ensuring that students complete their studies within the stipulated time frame, thereby enabling them to achieve their academic goals and graduate on schedule. Management will continue resources and guidance to students while also monitoring their progress and addressing any challenges that may arise. Appendix 13 is an analysis on the performance of desks. Management acknowledges the auditor's observations regarding the delay in delivery of desks to various schools. Chair, I wish to report that the delay was attributed to the failure by contractors to deliver desks within the stipulated time frame, thereby impacting the overall project implementation schedule. However, Chair, I'm pleased to inform the committee that as at the current date, all the queried 6,092 desks have since been received by the schools, and has since been received by the institution, and management has successfully distributed the 6,092 desks to the various schools within the district as observed. We wish to refer the committee to Appendix W, and as a remedial measure, we will take necessary steps to ensure that contractors adhere to agreed upon timelines and deliverables in the future. By way of conclusion, Chair, I wish to present on behalf of management an assurance to the committee that the remedial measures we have submitted before you this morning will be implemented and reviewed for further improvement. I now wish to submit our report for the committee's consideration. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Town Clerk, for that wonderful presentation. You have all the good reason to take some water. Honorable members, she's now ready for points of clarification. Honorable Member for Mitete.
Chair, it's hard on a day like this one, save when duty calls. To start with, I'm happy with this addendum, Chair. At least it is okay. You can see. This one is in black and white. We only encourage our local authority to do better next time. You see this, eh? Yes. So next time, page 19, just to start, so that Honorable Member of Parliament for Sakili, Kaubwe and the rest will pick it up. Page 19, a quick and simple one. The table below shows the breakdown. I guess that breakdown is the bursaries. Luanshya Central, those could be the pupils, 25. 1,179,912. Ron, 26. 700. What could be the justification? Ron, which had more pupils, the money spent is 706,094 kwacha. Luanshya Central, which had 25, sir, it has 1,179,912. What could be the justification? Here, sir, we ask points of clarification.
Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. With your indulgence, I can request Director Finance and Director Planning to provide some insight or clarification as sought.
Thank you, Chair. Just to clarify on the table, the first table on page 19, where it indicates the number, that's how the report from the Auditor General is. That is, I would say, the serial number for the constituents, not necessarily the number of students or pupils. I submit.
But then even on the expenditure, why did you spend a little higher in Luanshya Central and in Ron? That less amount? Since that is the serial number?
Thank you, Chair. Just to add on what TC and the DF have said, the failure to report on the part of the students for the academic year 2023 resulted in us failing to spend for Luanshya Central that amount 1.179 and for Ron 706. However, as indicated, we've since used that money for the academic year 2024 for paying for this.
Chair, the question is, why a little more in Luanshya Central and slightly low in Ron? Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. I risk sounding like a broken record. However, the clarification there, Chair, is that those figures are representing the amounts unspent.
Unspent funds.
Not the number of students or spending more or spending less. It is representing the amounts unspent. And our position or our feedback to your committee is that this is as a result of students that didn't report. So after the auditor's observation, we did go back to the table and we're reporting that these monies now stand as spent, Chair, after seeking approvals from both the CDF committee as well as the provincial committee.
Honorable Member, these are unspent funds.
Taken. In the table it is showing unspent and spend. But the reason was why a little more here and there, but I'll leave it there. Page okay.
Important follow-up.
Follow-up before I will allow you, Honorable Mtelo, to come back.
Thank you. Chair, on the same, me I take a different interest, especially on the bursaries, and the same one is similar to the one on page 15 on the bursaries. On the exhibit, we just see one long statement on Appendix N, and in Appendix M, they've only put also, they've not put financials, student register. We're interested to see the student register because we've noted that students are being paid after a week after semester or a week before closure. So where is the student register so that we could scrutinize if you are paying them in time, you are paying these students in time. So where are those documents, student register and the payment vouchers?
Interesting.
And the payment vouchers. Thank you, Chair.
Town Clerk?
Thank you, Chair. I wish to seek your indulgence to allow Directors Planning and Finance to respond to that. Then I'll.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, TC. In responding to this query, we provided a verification report. When we visited the schools, we noticed then that we were given feedback to the effect that a number of students who were attached on that verification report did not report for that academic year.
So where is that report? It's important, this matter. Town Clerk and your team.
Chair, we can refer to Appendix N of the report.
Let's go. M, Appendix M. Is it N or M?
It's Appendix M.
So, Chair, on
GP,
Appendix
you can
M,
read us?
Chair, on Appendix M, the document that is on page 12 under Appendix M.
From 10?
It starts on 12. It's titled Report on the Verification of Students for 2023 Secondary Boarding School and Skills Development Bursaries. Admittedly, Chair, we may not have it in the form of the Students Register as inquired by Honorable Kalovo, but the information that would be on a register, I believe, should also be able to be reflected in the document on page 12.
Mine is starting from 8. It says the report of the verification of the students for 2023 secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. This is wrong. I'm sure there is one for Luanshya, isn't it?
Yes, Chair. The one for Luanshya is on page 12.
Okay. Let's go to page 12. So when you look at the numbers here, do they reconcile with the figures that you are putting? Director Planning.
Yes, Chair, they reconcile on page 26, which speaks to the Roan report. At the very last page, as a total, it's showing 706,700. And when you look at our report on page 19, for Roan constituency, it's 706,094.
I think there was a problem filing because the page numbers you are telling me are not as this file indicates. But I can see some reports.
Chair.
Apologies for that, Chair.
This same report indicates that no student reported because on the status says not reported throughout. So what could have caused this non-report of these students? Thank you, Chair.
Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. Members may recall that when the fund was expanded, it was only meant for tuition fees, and that saw a number of students be disgruntled and consequently not turn up but government was quick to respond in the sense that councils were now instructed to include meal allowances as well as provide PPE. And I believe that assisted in ensuring that our learners or students stayed in school chair. That was our observation under our district. Thank you.
A different question, Honorable Member. No, we had Mutelo to come first, then I will ask you, Dr. Singombe. Honorable Mutelo.
Thank you, sir. Just some curtain rises. Another one, page 21, but I'm interested in Appendix PQ. The community projects, yes, sir, but Appendix PQ on the certificate of takeover certificates. Sir, the first one on page 9, PQ. Now you just go, yes, now page 9. Director of Works?
Takeover certificate?
Yes. If you see page 9, you see the dates, it's correct, 23, 23, 23. I'm interested, page 11. What do you explain over page 11, page 13, 19, 21, 30, 32, and 34, so that we finish? Page 11. Are you seeing on the dates? Are we there? Yes. Clarifications. Here we just seek clarifications. What do you say, Town Clerk?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe just to help the Chief Architect as well as Director Engineering so that they are on course with the clarification from yourself, Honorable. The one on page 9, as observed, has the same date throughout.
Yes.
And the one on pages 11 and other pages have different dates. That's the clarification that's being sought.
Why? Page 11. Take over, sir, the contractor is handing over on 22nd September. The witnesses and himself, they're accepting the building, sir, on 11th of September. I'm now wondering...
Before and over?
Yes, this is takeover certificate. So I'm wondering the authentic of this certificate. The contractors are on 22nd 11. Here is your building. The one you're accepting on the 11th. See? That is page 11. Page 13, just to take note, the completion date is not there. The date effects date, it's also not there. But the one we started with, perfect. I'm just doing the check with the first one. 19, you find that the takeover was on the 3rd. Then himself on the 13th. The other one on the 3rd. Could it be just mistakes or what? Those are the clarifications. Then on 21, this is different, Chair. No dates whatsoever. It's blank. Should we take it down? Town Clerk, you are following? Say this one is blank, I don't know. There's only one date there. On page 30, you did well to number these things. We followed nicely. Page 30, the date on the attached schedule for defects. Page 30, now I'm at page 30.
Take interest on page 19. It's a water deterioration.
Yes.
At Chaisa Urban Clinic.
Yes.
This one is interesting.
The more interesting one is on page 30. On defects, non-applicable. Construction of a 1x3 classroom block. In terms of defects, non-applicable. 32, non-applicable. Oh, now there are problems there. Only page 34, Chair, no specific dates whatsoever. What do you explain, Director of Works, starting from page 11? Thank you, Chair. Save it's on a dark cloud day.
Thank you, Chair. If I may respond.
Yes.
I believe the first query is the issue on the dates on when they were signed between the end user, the contractor, and the project manager. So there are instances as we hand over projects, we can do a final inspection with the end user, and once the project manager and the end user are satisfied with the works, we can append the takeover certificate. Then the actual date when the contractor moves out of site might be different. That's why you see those dates are different. Then on the other areas where we have the dates not showing on the events column, Chair, there I would like to just apologize. This is just a discrepancy on our end. But again, if you check on the actual completion certificate, what we have on each project is a completion certificate which certifies that the project is completed, given the actual day when it's finished and when the defects liability starts. The takeover certificate, the purpose of it is just to show or have the project being handed over or passing hands from the contractor who had site to the project manager and to the end user. I submit, Chair.
Number 30.
Number 30. Can you address specifically number 30?
Chair, if I may, just to clarify, I understand our pages are not in order. The takeover certificate is talking about maternity 1x3 classroom block constructed by Metolec, which is fully signed at the bottom by the end user, the issue being the not applicable on the defects liability. Chair would like to apologize, that's a discrepancy, but again, I'll take the committee to the completion certificate for the same project. We will actually see the actual dates when the project was completed, when the defect liability starts. As I said, these documents move in pairs, the completion certificate and the takeover certificate, Chair.
So are they speaking to each other? In this case, there is not applicable, the one defect liability is being effected.
Yes.
But there is non-applicable.
To each other, to apologize for that on the completion, on the takeover certificate.
Town clerk, is that you just prepare these documents. Whatever you can find, you lay your hands on, you just put it there. You don't go through these reports, and we shall demonstrate to that effect. you just put in a document. Because if you create documents that cannot speak to each other, they are at variance. Which one do we follow? And the other observations that I've made generally is that you are creating documents that are away from the standard of the local government system. So that we have a standard. Honorable member for
Thank you so much. On the set, where is the certificate of partial completion? Is it on page 29? Sir, are you able to read? The what has been tabulated there. Are you able to read, sir?
Read for us. Direct read for us.
Page 29, I believe we're speaking of the certificate of partial completion for the project of construction by 3 classroom block.
Yes.
At the contract number. We have the contract date, which is February. Contract which is 28th May 2024. Revised.
I need glasses. For using my naked eyes, it's proving to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Much that he has acknowledged the variances will not be taking town clerk documents speaking to one or pointing to one project but have different information on them generated by yourselves. All would love is our secretariat to capture the right information.
Before I ask Honorable for Dundumezi, I would like to also simple projects. This is Ron. I'll get both Ron and the Luanshya Central. Ask the question. Jesse?
Chair, we audited in May last year, and I think some of the verifications were done well into August.
So May 2024. As at December 2023, community projects approved for 2023, 23 projects, 8 projects for Luanshya. Is page 21 of the report? 21 of 26. For Luanshya Central constituency, the projects which were approved, the community projects were 8, correct? For Ron, there were 14. Out of 8 for Luanshya Central, the projects implemented in the year 2023, January to December, 0. Correct?
Yes, Chair.
Work in progress, 0. Outstanding, 8. Luanshya Central. Ron constituency, you had approved 14 projects, implemented 0. Work in progress, 0. Outstanding, 14. What do you attribute this, if I can say, you have you fail to implement any of the projects for both constituencies for the entire year 2023? What would be your explanation, Town Clerk and your team?
Thank you, Chair. I wish to reiterate that we have no qualms with the observations of the auditors. What is depicted in their report is the position as at the close of 2023. Indeed, Chair, we had no works in progress for both constituencies. And I will preface my inspection following the auditor's observations so that we can just understand exactly, trace where the challenges were that presented a challenge for us to implement those projects. Following that, we came up with the project was itemized, starting from when the CDF committee, or indeed when the WDC gave feedback to our applications, as well to our adverts, as well as when the CDF committee sat and until we reached the end of the year, Chair. And partly, some of the blame can be on ourselves, Chair. We did not coordinate ourselves as per expectation. However, I wish to indicate that the bulk of the time we lost was lost due to procurement processes failing. Failing on two fronts, Chair. On the one front is that we were not receiving responsive bids. For one of the projects, Chair, I wish to report that we actually did have an appeal that was raised by one of the bidders, and ZPPA did write to advise that we repeat. So the procurement processes were such that we didn't see any contractor on site by the time we closed the year. However, Chair, I wish to provide some feedback to your committee on how we have performed on both 2023, 2024.
Before you go to that, I wanted a confirmation which you have made that indeed true that the entire year 2023 Luanshya Council, Municipal Council, failed the people of Luanshya to manage CDF in respect of community projects. In total for the two constituencies, 14 plus 8, it is 22 projects, which the CDF committees and the WDCs forwarded as areas of need. People have been hearing about CDF given to you by the government, very generous, to say, can you give the people of Ron and Luanshya? Then the management team completely fails the entire year to implement one, not even work in progress, zero. How would you assess yourself? And what comes to you when you sit as a town clerk? You are reporting for work from January to December, 8 to 17 hours. You are there and you are failing. What actions have you, or sanctions, have you meted on any of the erring officers? Because I believe that monies were being sent in piecemeal, quarterly, same in all the constituencies. And some of the councils endeavored to start projects. But in Luanshya, you are even comfortable, town clerks, to say, no, we take the blame. I was telling some council yesterday, in civilized jurisdictions, all of you should have resigned. Especially what my brother said. All things being equal, then you do zero. How do the people have failed if that is the case? Further, there at the government
by indicating the observation of the auditor is that has taken
in May when auditors came. That's when you're saying you do. That's when you. That's what you're telling the people in Zambia, in general.
Most in the presentation period days, you sit and you find that there's a bid that's non-responsive. You have to make a decision, and most likely that will result in refloating that tender. So, Chair, in saying that we lost about 7 months, there was work being done in the background, but it wasn't reflective of the fact that we came up with responsive bids whereby contractors were able to now be awarded contracts. So we do have evidence, Chair, both before the committee as well as at our station, to show that in a 7-month or so period, most of the time was lost with regard to procurement processes, Chair.
Let me give a chance to Doctor, then I'll come to you. Dr. Singombe.
Chairman, I had a new question, but I want us to...
Let's exhaust. Do you have a follow-up?
Exhaust on this one
Okay.
first. Yeah. Chair, I'm wondering as to why implemented projects is 0. Work in progress is 0. How? Because, Chair, I do recall that there were certain monies that were deducted from the source. Let's talk about, is it ambulances? Police vehicles? Where they, didn't you factor in these which were deducted at source? Surely, how did you arrive at 0, Luanshya? I know of these funds deducted from the source.
Honorable.
I read the Chair, and the word was due to unforeseen delays in completing procurement processes, and she has belabored to explain. Maybe let's bring it in real time. How are you managing this EGP system? It could have been problematic then, unforeseen. Now you have seen, and we don't want these delays anymore. Managing this. It was
From Dr. Mwanza,
Chairperson,
a follow-up on the same.
Chairperson, maybe it could be. I don't know, because this time the councils are not passing through Charimbana, isn't it? Maybe it's the way this.
They are there.
Do they go to Charimbana before they come here?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
They have been there for over 20 days.
Now, I'm just seeing the way they bring out the report. 2022 chairperson, you realize that I also read what he read. The unforeseen circumstances in the procurement, because 2022, I think a lot of councils struggled in that even the approvals were still done centrally before they went to the provinces. So the council, that's why I said maybe they didn't pass through Charimbana. So supposed to say, out of this money, the monies that Dr. Singombe indicated, out of we were able to get the monitoring vehicles, we have done this, but where we are stuck is on these projects because of the procurement, something like that. They are supposed to give us those details of what entangled the process, so that at the end of the day, the committee, because now what is coming out is saying, no, it is nothing that happened the whole year. Yet vehicles were bought, and if there are changes, because I remember the president, the minister then spoke of the bottlenecks. It was in that year that projects are being delayed, so we want to make sure that those bottlenecks are removed. But the way the report comes out, yes, it will show everyone that there is nothing that has happened. Chairperson, I thought maybe the wedding through you and Charimbana. It was just a comment.
I will allow the vice also.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. I just wanted a question. Yes, so the bottlenecks, you've said you had non-responsive bids as one of them. Make the committee understand responsive bid in the procurement system.
Question or comment, I think, which was by Honorable Mulunda. Police vehicles, as well as the monitoring vehicles, as achieved in 2020. The 2023, but the monies were
sorry for that. You can continue, honorable members.
Thank you, Chair. I was responding to Honorable Dr. Ngombe's comment or question, which was also amplified by Honorable Mulunda, where he asked our council why we the ambulances, police vehicles, and monitoring vehicles under the 2023 as implemented projects, or indeed recording of some action. I wish to indicate that the funding for the three was deducted at source in 2022. Of the auditors is for the 20, so we could not. For EGP Chair, that it's been that has helped us in state matters to do with personal handling of these challenges on the part observed. On the one hand, our contractors seem to be struggling with knowing how to upload their bids on the system. Secondly, we have noted that we have been experiencing some bit of downtime when it comes to application. Advise us that at the moment when there's downtime, the moment we are back online, we have to extend the period within which we can receive bids. On the one front, Chair, contractors, we have undertaken sensitization of as other stakeholders. We have seen some improvement. There's still room for more of our contractors to be better placed to place their bids on the system, Chair. There was a question from Honorable Mulunda with regard to whether we are passing through Charimbana. I can confirm that there's some quality control that's been undertaken by the Ministry of Local Government and Development.
For me, I feel depressed, weak when I see such a report. Even when the concerns were raised about my assessment is if you see that which is faster, which is handled by yourselves in terms is zero. Correct. Now, my worry is TC. I asked a question earlier. When were you audited? It was deliberate. It was deliberate because you were audited in May. Now, when I look at that period, and when I look at a small council, not only Chasefu, all the small councils, they have certain done period. Cities and municipal councils have such a for me. If we are going to go this way, then we are doomed. Of the money and getted for the sole purpose. Always indicate quick delivery of a project, of the projects at the right price and right and the quality. And if you as a council, this you're supposed to stick them. Supervisor of everyone. Then yes, on this particular one, I'm really depressed. My point is, by the end of this week, I will be able to there are more problems than towns. From the time we started to date, I'm getting somewhere. Procurement. May we have a comment? I want to have a comment from procurement. I'm talking to procurement. Do we have procurement amongst ourselves?
Thank you, Chair. We do, but I was hoping to preface comment.
Talk to
Chair, I was just trying to clarify. Okay.
I'm controlling this meeting. What I'm reading, report town clerk. Procurement, we have heard the issues of projects, no implementation, cause challenges. What are the challenges maybe I start with in 2023?
Yes, Chair, I was.
Thank you. Can you tell this committee and the nation and the people of Luanshya what are the major challenges that from January to May 2024, January 2023 to December to May, and further after May, projects were failing in the town of Luanshya, as per report that we have.
Thank you, Chair. I think my observation in Luanshya is that we need to do a lot of capacity building with our contractors, the local domiciled, the citizen bidders, because as we are of the president to empower the locals. So my observation ever since I went to Luanshya was that our contractors needed a lot of capacity building in terms of how to prepare a quality bid and how to submit on the EGP. And arising from that observation and the gap which was there from ourselves as Luanshya Municipal Council, we did engage our stakeholders such as ZPPA, PACRA, EIZ and NCC just to give to educate our contractors, and I can assure you that about 519 contractors turned up for that meeting, which was held at Pakawama Lodge. And after that meeting, we've seen some improvements. I think in 2023 we had about 2 meetings, whilst in 2024 we've had 1. So we've continued educating our contractors so that the monies can remain within Luanshya. And arising from that, we've also been using a provision of the law through use of limited bidding to restrict the participation to Luanshya domiciled contractors for those procurements that are above the threshold of 1 million. The other observation was that at a time when we used the open national bidding, there was that uproar from our local contractors that contracts were being awarded to outsiders. And yet, at a time when we were shortlisting the contractors to participate, we were having on other projects to have low bids or maybe none at all. And because of that, we were compelled to repeat the procurement processes in line with Section 69 due to lack of receipt of bids. I submit, Chair.
Different question, Honorable Singombe, then Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you very much, Chair. We have been training youths on different skills, and Chair, I wanted to find out whether the local authority has taken a stand as to whether those who've been channeled out are able to fill in the gaps in terms of the council. Are they seeing these youths contributing to the well-being of Luanshya, being a mining area and also a constituency? You've just, Chair, heard that they really want to ensure that the resources from CDF remains within the jurisdiction of Luanshya. Are we able to identify these youths in our economy within Luanshya? Thank you.
Okay, before you respond, Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair.
Take note of that.
It's a different question.
Yes.
Page 6.
We go to page 6. Help the town clerk to note what Honorable Singombe as our youths who are being trained. Are we using them to participate in the projects?
So the performance of some community projects. I just take an example of Ron constituency, page 6. From 29 June to 20 to September. Audit 31st December, the contractor had only been paid 266,738, of course, based on the certified works, leaving, which is 266,000 is just 20% of the contract, which was obviously 3 months above the completion period already. And the contract balance was 1,066,950. The end result is that this contract was terminated. Another contractor was engaged, called the Workmate, to complete the works. Workmate was engaged at a contract sum of 514,093 kwacha. Now, this project has taken close to 2 years from the time of engagement, from 29 June 2023, taken 2 years. Right now, the project is completed. The questions or what we want to seek for clarification is the first contractor, EBSA, he was only paid 20%. Having exceeded his contractual period, he was only paid 20%, and his contract terminated. What is the final settlement account with this contractor before you engaged the Workmate? I know Workmate, he signed the contract at 514,000 kwacha to do the completion of the remaining outstanding works.
Doc, you have put your point very well.
The
You
second
make
one,
a follow-up.
The second one is on procurement. Procurement, when you procured it, you you're trying to say you invited 4 bidders using the simplified bidding method and floated on EGP. There were 4 bidders. List, it is actually on the evaluation report, page 50. The list of invited bidders for rehabilitation of Kansumbi Primary School in Ron constituency is shown below. Workmate Investment, Sinjo Investment, Riverdale River Resources, Filachushi Construction. 4 bidders were invited through the EGP using the simplified method. The question I have here is, beside Workmate, who was awarded the contract, I do not see the evaluation for these 3 other bidders. You only evaluated 1 bidder, and that is the successful bidder. Why did you evaluate only 1 bidder instead of doing a bid evaluation comparison of the 4 bidders that submitted the bids?
You can leave it there so that they respond. Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to begin with responding to Honorable Singombe on whether we are seeing the youths, after they are trained, take part in other components of the CDF. Chair, I can confirm that we have youth groups that access the empowerment grants, and we have also seen youth groups that have also participated in the provision of desks, Chair. On the question from Honorable Dr. Mwanza with regard to the final settlement account on EBSA investments, I wish to indicate that on the duration as observed by Honorable Dr. Mwanza of 2 years delay, I wish to confirm to this committee that the said EBSA investments had abandoned site, and it was proving a challenge accessing him with regard to actually sitting down to measure the works and agree on the final account. But we were able, I think after a 5 or so month period, to sit down with him and undertake a final account. So in addition to the 266 that has been observed in the report, Chair, I wish to indicate that the IPC number 2, which is the final account that was undertaken at the point of termination, is coming to about 594,390 kwacha 28 ingwe. However, I wish to apologize at
It's
the
on
same...
appendix what?
Sorry, Chair, I was getting to that. I wish to apologize that the same is not on the appendices that we have provided, but with your indulgence, we can avail the same through Secretariat, Chair. I submit.
Do you have it?
It's here.
Let them make copies so that to see. I've seen the notice of termination is in June 2024. The IPC is dated what? What's the date on that IPC?
It's stamped 17th July 2024.
After termination?
Yes, Chair, after we concluded the final account to conclude the termination process.
I was reading. I don't know. You said appendix what, Doc? E. If you go to appendix E, I've seen a letter. So is that the standard? Town clerk, is that the standard? Notice of termination. Then
Thank you, Chair. In our letter of 26 June 2024, the last paragraph, we are saying, to this effect, the final account of works executed has been generated and attached for your reference. We look forward for your prompt response hereto, as it will aid the putting of this matter to bed.
okay. So that was just a letter. So when was the final termination? That was an intention, yes? But when was the final termination of the same contract?
Chair, unfortunately, I don't have it before your committee this morning, but with your indulgence, if we're given an opportunity, we can avail that. It is part of the file.
Yes, you need to. How do we follow? We could have called you by phone. When you come here, you must satisfy this committee. We have serious interest in to see what you are doing. Then let us hear from the procurement.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, the method that was used was the simplified bidding in accordance with the Section 44(1) of the Public Procurement Act number 8 of 2020. Previously, in the Public Act number 8 of 2008, we were not proceeding to evaluate a sole bid that was deemed as a failed procurement process. However, under the revised Act, we are allowed to proceed a single bid. Therefore, we are shortlisted. However, only one contractor submitted the bid, and in accordance with the provisions of the law, we proceeded to evaluate that bid. I submit.
Dr. Mwanza?
In accordance with the Procurement Act 2018, yes, the simplified bidding can only proceed when minimum 3 bidders have submitted. Because the purpose of evaluating is to compete, is to give a fair chance. Don't tell me that a project like this one, which is just a rehabilitation, you're just touching up, but just painting, flooring, and so on, you use simplified bidding. Simplified bidding means that you target some contractors that you know can perform this work. So you invite them. In fact, before you invite, you even make a phone call. to say, are you interested? We have this project here. Would you, so we are sending you an official invitation so that the bids would be competitive. This is not specialized and complicated works that contractors, first of all, in the first instance, how did you send invitations to these three others? So this you abrogated the procurement rules. It should have been a failed bid and proceed to retender.
Procurement is what Dr. Mwanza, Dr. Aaron Mwanza, doctor in civil engineering, stating the correct position about what the Act says.
Previously, yes, it was a requirement that if you receive one bid, it amounts to a failed procurement. But under the revised Public Procurement Act number 8, you proceed to do with
Number 8 of
2020. You
Okay.
proceed and evaluate a single bid as long as there is evidence that you invited the others and did not submit their bids. I also wish to mention that this procurement process was conducted via the EGP system, and the documentary evidence is equally there that the bidders were shortlisted and invited at the same time. However, at the time of bid submission, we only received one bid, and formally an evaluation committee was constituted to evaluate that very bid that was
So you have all that evidence?
So where is the invitation? Invitation of these three other bidders.
If I'm permitted, I can be able to.
Yes, but we need to see that.
We need more information on that.
Because it's very
So
suspicious
please
that you just evaluate one.
submit to our secretariat as quickly as possible. Honorable Kalobo.
Thank you very much, Chair. May I take the committee to page 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chair, this relates to dredge completion of projects. On page 2, we have Elohim Primary School. Page 3, we have Walale Market Shelter. Page 4, we have Chitwi Market Shelter. Page 5, we have Kasongo Primary School. All these projects, Chair, are attributed to ZESCO not putting up the line in good time. And the exhibit is on 4 appendices, A, B, C, and D. On both, what we have is a picture showing the ZESCO line. We also have the takeover certificate, partial completion certificate, and the completion certificates exhibited. TC and your team, we needed to see the contract, the payment voucher to ZESCO, a bank statement, so that we verify if indeed ZESCO, it is the one which delayed. Want to see what time did you pay ZESCO in those payment vouchers. Want to see the contract. When was it? When was the contract signed? So we needed these 4 documents. Where are they? So that we verify that ZESCO indeed it is the one which delayed the completion of 4 projects. Thank you very much, Chair.
Is it a follow-up as we wind up? Dr. Mwanza, quickly, short one.
Yes, the same on the same as Honorable Pavuma rightly put it. The rehabilitation of completion of Walale Market Shelter in Luanshya constituency, as well as the Chitwi Market in Luanshya constituency. This contract suspiciously was given to one contractor at the same date. Contao General Dealers on the same dates, different locations for constructing the market, but His performance, it took 2 years, 1 year, 9 months to complete both projects with outstanding works of electrical installations and ZESCO Limited to connect power. Of course, the internal electrical installations are supposed to be done by the contractor. So we want to check, want to know at what stage did the contractor complete the wiring, so that we know who was delaying who. Because like for ZESCO, they want to bring power to an already a house which you've done already the installations. So is it the contractor who delayed to do the wiring? Because just as you put it here, you are saying the outstanding works were electrical installations and the ZESCO Limited. So who delayed who? And
TC?
Yes. And
you
also,
can respond to those.
Yeah,
You make, I will allow you to get follow-up.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. As observed on pages 2, 3, 4, and 5, the query is similar in the sense that the said projects were queried for the failure to provide the electrical component of it.
And the installations.
Yes, Chair. So I wish to preface my comment with 1 or 2 comments, then I'll seek your indulgence to ask Director Engineering to provide more information. Chair, we had the main building completed. What was lacking at the time of the audit in 1 or 2 of the projects was that the wiring was not concluded because we were fearing vandalism from the people that would be in the neighboring areas of those projects. However, the delay also in terms of contracts as requested by Honorable Kalobo is that how we deal with ZESCO is that they issue invoices, and they're only able to issue invoices at the time when their internal processes are concluded, in the sense that they are also subcontracting to other contractors. For us, that is what we observed as the delay on the part of ZESCO. I wish
Do you
to
have
also
the evidence of payments
Chair,
that you made?
I was coming to that. I also wanted to indicate that in this particular issue, we had to seek some indulgence on the part of the Honorable MP for Luanshya Central, Honorable Lusale Simbao, who also expressed a bit of exasperation because he had to end up at the Minister of Energy's office for us to receive the needed feedback. With regard to the payment vouchers and bank statements, Chair, I wish to apologize that we may not have brought them before your committee this morning, but if you were gracious enough as a committee to grant us the grace, we would be able to provide the same. They are with us at the office, Chair. I submit. With your indulgence, I can ask Director Engineering to provide some input.
Before engineering, procurement. Is it true that same date given to one contractor to construct 2 market projects? And what was the rationale or reason behind that?
Yes, Chair, that's the correct position.
And they failed to perform?
No, they completed the structure. I think what was remaining was installation of the lighting. I think it was upon an instruction from the engineering department to hold on to avoid the vandalism of the electrical fittings.
There were no other bidders that you could have extended. Why give one contractor to do 2 projects at the same time?
Chair, Contao General Dealers was responsive, I think, on both Chitwi and the other project up to the financial stage. So we've, I think, arising from the previous observations, we've started including a criteria where if you are not supposed to participate in more than 1 or 2 in order to circulate the...
You have started now?
Yes. So
before it was...
it was open. So we started including that at the tendering stage.
Okay. Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to substantiate on the point that, yes, the two projects were given to one contractor, and he completed those projects on time. However, there were external fixtures, of which with the agreement with the end user communities, we agreed that they could not be secured if power is not installed. So we waited for ZESCO to connect power or to give us a quotation so that we pay, and then that's when he can put now those fixtures. So those were the outside external street lights, yes, and the shackles were to land the ZESCO service cable.
Town Clerk, you have a pressing one, short one.
Yes.
Can you read what was outstanding?
He's saying that
Read, Doc.
the contractor
Help him.
completed the projects on time. If we go to page 3, and
Read, Doc, quickly.
Yeah. As at 31st December 2023, amounts totaling to 230, which is just about 70%, 72% of the contract sum had been paid to the contractor, leaving a balance of 84. A physical inspection carried out in September, 30th September 2024, which is 1 year later. 1 year later, he was supposed to complete this project just within 3 months, in 7th April 2023. But we are being dragged on until 30th of September 2024. And you're saying he completed the project on time, within the time framework. Where is the substantial completion certificate? Because if he was within the time limit of up to 7th April, your engineering department would have issued a substantial completion certificate only pending ZESCO connection. So the contractor would demobilize the site until when ZESCO is ready, then they can go and so where is the substantial certificate, completion certificate, to justify your statement?
We have our engineer here. Is what he's saying, what is your take?
Chair, with your permission, I can ask Director Finance to clarify, Director Engineering to clarify.
Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair, once more. Yes, the ablution block was completed, or the Chitu market shelter was completed. However, we could not hand it over. In fact, it was even partially in use, but the only component which remained, those electrical installations, were the ones which were...
Director.
Yes.
As we are following your report, you see, we are trying to be as reasonable, if I can use. You switch off your mic. What you know is not what we know. Constantly you have been apologizing for omissions. This is not the first time that you're working in the local authority. I've asked, is what our honorable member stating correct? You are supposed to have issued substantial... Did you do that? Did you do that?
No, Chair.
So you want to challenge this committee or to challenge the honorable member? Don't do that. You are doing wrong things and you want to justify here. All what you are doing is just to give us a story that is not substantiated by this report. We don't work in or live in Luanshya. We are here, we follow these reports that are picked by auditors. Don't spoil the day. I said that on moral grounds, I want to repeat, you can't keep your jobs in civilized places. But here is normal. You come and you want to justify failure. If you know your job as director engineering, you should have done all those things. Yesterday I was saying that in the First Republic, we have people with, we are the people with basic qualifications. The councils didn't. But if you look at what they used to do, now we are privileged to have learned people. You compare what is happening, it's food for thought. The government is in a hurry. It wants to see the monies being given to councils, to the people of Zambia, through the councils, through Luanshya Council, being utilized on time. And they want to see the goods and services delivered to them. They're balancing development. So it is you officers who are privileged to be in this position. Do the correct thing. If you look at the report, I'm happy. Honorable member for Usakili say delayed projects, 5, 6 of them. What are we doing? For your information, Town Clerk, the expectations of the Zambian people is too high on us. You and ourselves. So when you sit in your office, when you just report or you're starting off from home, you're going to say, what am I going to do for Luanshya Council? Which is my employer? At the end of the day, you ask yourself, as you knock off each one of you individually, what have I done today? If you're director engineering, you say, which projects are moving? Director planning, appraisals are being done. Procurement, are we doing the correct thing? The moment we do that, all of us, in our offices, individual capacities, this country will go very far. This country will go, and that's the expectation. And if you take CDF as a by the way function, we are of a problem. When I was still in the union, I used to tell people that when you are walking around any community, you see a Sisu truck, Sisu of Finland, you know this is the council. First Republic. Now, apart from the Sisu trucks, you could see graders and other earth moving equipment. You know this is a council. But from the First Republic, we had lost the local government system. Now, the core function of the local government system to provide services was not done. You were walking in those days, the previous times, you are walking through any town. You can't tell whether this is community development or what. Now we have been given these monies. People want roads. People want health centers. People want markets delivered on time. This is now we are beginning to regain our status as local authority. Don't lose it. Do the correct things. Director finance. Release the monies. We had the one, I want to mention his name, former town clerk for Mansa. I think you have heard about Wanga Kapumpa. Wanga Kapumpa, from morning to, he will be in a work suit. Let me also mention the late President Michael Sata when he was in local government. Why? Because the duty and the function of the council is out there in the field. Now you have field officers who are not appraising projects, who don't even know, you just bring reports. So I would like to caution you on behalf of this committee. Go and do the correct things for Luanshya. The people of Luanshya are very expectant. Do not come to answer queries based on these reports. Come here to answer what has gone wrong so that you put remedial measures that are going to help. As I said earlier, I'm making serious analysis. At the end of the day, I will be able to justify. I'm comparing town councils, municipal councils, and city councils on my own. And I will justify, I will get these reports that this is my observation. Why do we have challenges, so many challenges in municipal councils, city councils, and maybe town councils? And look at who is there. In conclusion, we had one man, Mr. Siwakwi, may his soul rest in peace, when the councils were in arrears, 34 months for Mbala, 28 months Chipata, Mongo 32 months, those days. And the other councils, you transfer Mr. Siwakwi from one council, which is in arrears, he goes to the next council, that council becomes viable, they start paying. You move him, whichever council he moved to. That is a basis of assessment. We should not assess people based on their qualifications, papers. So when we look at the individual officers, even as this committee, you move from one council, same things. Money given by you, by government, same amount, equally. Non-performance. You are very executive, just in offices. You don't want to go and see what is happening in the field. Then you have lost the essence of local government. Local government is in the field. In Bemba they say at Chikaya, you saw what Chikampamba, you say Nizakamba Mchitumbuka Palasti. Government, local government is out there. That's why the government and the president has given us that money, to see that that money is being utilized. The planner, the procurement, you can do better. Town clerk, you can do better. Director engineering and every one of you. This is just a counsel to you. Take it or leave it. But you see, if you don't take advice, wherever you go, you see, people will talk. But if you learn from your friend, like this committee, you do better. The immunity is withdrawn. I wish you well as you go back. Whatever you say from now on, you are on your own, town clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The council is noted. We wish to undertake that the picture of the CDF projects for 2024 is very different, Chair. Auditor General will come and testify through their report. I submit.
Nipanotuli.